Well, I'm delighted to be here this afternoon to share with you the 2017-18 State of the City. We sort of go back and we move forward, but technically the 2018 State of the City. I cannot believe that a year has passed. I stood here before you a year ago. I didn't know very many faces in the room, but I was so excited to come to Bothell and to start my life, our life in Bothell. It's been quite a year for us, and it's just gone by in a flash of an eye, and here we are the next year later. And I'm delighted to share with you the things that we've been working on and that we accomplished in 2017, and the things that we're going to look forward to in 2018. First, I'd like to acknowledge our City Council. We have several members with us today. So we have Deputy Mayor Davina Doer, if you want to maybe stand up. Council Member Rosemary McAuliffe, Council Member Tom Agnew, and Council Member Jean Zorns. This is the group that leads us. This is the group that sets our vision and moves us forward. The mayor wanted me to share with you, he's ill today, and two of our council members couldn't make it. He wanted me to share with you that we had a goal setting in January of this year, and this council is really focused, and we are heading in a really great direction. We spent a day together planning out our future, looking ahead to 2018 and starting to talk about 19 and 20, and we are very focused on community. These kinds of events, these kinds of partnerships, these kinds of communications are critical to this council, and reconnecting with our community is one of the top priorities. And he wanted to be sure that you all knew that and how important it is to this council that we're connected with this community. Our vision for Bothell, we are Bothell. We cherish our verdant setting, honor our heritage, and celebrate our community spirit as together we imagine and create a better world. So it's always good to kind of step back and say, you know, where are we going? What's our vision? And this has been our longtime vision, and this is a direction that we're going. This is what the council looks at and moves towards as they talk about where they want to take this community in the years ahead. Our mission for Bothell is for the City Council, any advisory boards and employees is to foster a healthy, safe, vibrant, caring, and sustainable community through municipal services and legislative actions, which are guided by a shared commitment to honesty, equity, creativity, fiscal responsibility, environmental stewardship, and community involvement. And you can see that they're taking all of these responsibilities as we move forward and they lead this community. We do this through a set of values, and values are so important. Many of you are business leaders, you're working with businesses. You know how important values are. And the values for our organization are exceptional customer service, teamwork, innovation, safety, and ethics in the workplace. And these values have really been integrated over the last year to guide us in the work that we do. And it helps the staff make good decisions based on these values, really focusing on customer service. And it goes back, you're going to hear a theme today, this connection to community, how important our community is to us, and that we're able to deliver the kinds of services that you expect of us and that we want to deliver to you. So we're guided by these values that are really have been integrated throughout the organization in this past year. So we're going to look ahead. We're going to talk a little bit about 2017 and look ahead to 2018. I wanted to take this moment as an opportunity. My husband is here with me today, Wes. 2017 was not the easiest year for us, and I wanted to acknowledge that we've worked very hard to move to Bothell, and unfortunately, on October 8th, we were in the heart of the Tubbs fire. And our house was on the market. He had been working most of 2017 to get that house on the market so that we could be here together and buy a house here and be part of the Bothell community. And that night, that fire swept through, and he got out literally with his shoes, his wallet, and his cell phone, with minutes' notice to get out with his life. Since then, he's been living in a hotel by himself, basically getting the house back on the market. So we've had hundreds of thousands of dollars of heat and smoke damage. And so bless his heart, he's been down there doing that, living in a hotel, so I can be here and continue to lead and be a part of the Bothell community. And so I wanted to recognize him for that, and that he's been there for me. I love you very much. Thank you. So looking at back at 2017, we did some pretty cool stuff in 2017. We had a real focus on customer service. That's that theme again. We really want to connect with our customers. We really want to be an exceptional city for businesses to do business in, for people to live here, for visitors to come, for anyone to be part of our community. We want to deliver exceptional customer services. And so we've done a lot in that area. One of that is we've implemented a new financial system. And for those of you who live in Bothell, believe it or not, by the end of this year, you're going to be able to pay your utility bill online. Woohoo! I know, it's very exciting. When you have a software system that is 15 years old, these are the kinds of things that we weren't able to do and that we didn't focus on over the last decade. That those are the kinds of things we can't deliver until the council gives us the support and the resources to be able to do that, which is what they did in this biennium to budget, and we're able to move forward with these kinds of services. So it helps from an efficiency standpoint, but it's again really focused on the customer service aspect. We also implemented a new park software system to improve our ability to connect with the community and recreation programs. We implemented an asset management program that's very important for best practices in being a good city and how we take care of the assets that we purchase with your monies, with the community monies. We're very focused on transparency. That has become a buzzword in our profession. And there's a lot of communities out there that are using it more as a buzzword and authentically really aren't doing the things that would make a community feel more engaged and that a community is more, or an organization is more transparent. I can tell you that this organization and this council is committed to that transparency. And so we don't use it as a buzzword. We use it as a culture. We use it as how we want to connect with the community. It's part of who we are, and that we want you to be a part of the work that we're doing, and that we want to welcome you in and we want to show you what we're doing. And so it's very authentic for us and this council. Engagement, again, back to that community connection, to enhance our engagement with the community and to really increase our partnerships, to get out there and be partners with our community. We can't do these things alone anymore. Things are too costly. Some of these challenges are too great for individual organizations to tackle some of the things that we're tackling. We have to do them together, and so partnerships are becoming a real key and very, very embraced and supported by the council. So we accomplished those things this year. Other initiatives were, we created a standalone tourism program. So it's very, very exciting for us to be able to put the initiative and the efforts behind our tourism program. We implemented a public records request system. So again, maybe not something super exciting, but for us, it's the opportunity for the community to feel more connected and be able to have access to our records more easily. And those things are important to us. We implemented a council scorecard system, the opportunity for the community and the council to better see the work that we're doing towards achieving their goals. And so it's a communication tool, but it's also a connection to the council. How successful are we, and are we heading down the right direction? We also initiated the lean process for our development services. We want to be an exceptional city to do business in. This is a continued focus. And so sometimes one of the things you have to do is you have to step back, figure out what you're doing well and not well. It takes time, it takes energy, but the outcome is much better services. And so we're looking at our processes for development services and making sure that we're doing the very best that we can with the resources that we have. We're also continuing down the path of becoming an accredited public works department. Again, it's an investment in current staff time, but the outcome is being an exceptional organization and doing best practices in public works. We established a public art program. If you haven't been to City Hall, we have City Kitty on the stairwell. We also have a beaver family and a river otter by our fountains. It's a great step forward in finally delivering on some of those art pieces that have been talked about for years around the City Hall. And we built an exceptional executive leadership team. I am really proud of the individuals that are part of my team, and if you don't mind me taking a moment, I'd like to acknowledge them. Many of them are here today. Judge Gelson is here. Courtney White is our court administrator, who is just exceptional. She joined us this year. Chief Crone joined us this year, our fire chief. Chief Cummings, our police chief. Joe Sherman, our IS director. Tammy Shackman, our longtime finance director, who I have relied on heavily this past year. Who am I missing? Barbara. Well, there you are. Barbara, our communications officer. And Tori, our new assistant city manager, who we are absolutely delighted to have joined us this year. Who, by the way, is knocking it out of the park. She is amazing. So we're super happy that you're here. Did I get everybody, my team? A couple people are missing today, but I want to be sure. This team is pouring their heart and soul into this community and the work that we're doing. And I hope that you will have the same confidence and appreciation of them that I do. They are really doing great work for us. Again, all of this with the goal of serving our community with exceptional services and really a place that people want to live, do business, and visit. Economic development, certainly something near and dear to the hearts of those of you in this room. So when we talk about economic development, some of the things that we set out as goals for 2017, continued revitalization of the downtown. We initiated the Canyon Park Regional Growth Center. So what we did in the downtown over the last 10 years, we have that same visioning idea for the Canyon Park area, which is our biotech commercial hub. And there's some very exciting things happening there. So we started that process. We continued the cleanup of our contaminated lots. We supported businesses in attraction and retention. And we strive towards becoming, again, this theme of a great city to do business in. And so we feel that we made really great strides in those areas. In addition to that, we continue to be a member of the Innovation Partnership Zone, a strong supporter of the Chamber, and Mike mentioned, and I think it deserves being mentioned again, really appreciate the council's support, that we doubled the support for the Chamber's rent, because they are our visitor center, to be able to move from Canyon Park into the downtown where we really think they belong. And the council did that without a blink of an eye. When the request came to me, we said absolutely. From a staff level, we brought it to the council, and it just went right through, because we really feel we're strong supporters of the Chamber, and the council absolutely believed that was the right thing to do. So, absolutely. We work with the Economic Alliance of Snohomish County, the North Shore Business Alliance, which is sort of this new initiative that's been coming around, the Cascadia College and the UW Bothell Master Plan. That was a huge slog for everybody, but really what a huge success for our region. We supported the Sound Transit 3 projects. We've been a big voice in making sure that Sound Transit 3 monies come to Bothell and we get those projects that they've promised us. There were 405 shoulder lane and investments. We've seen a difference in the ability, at least on the northbound lanes, some better flow there. The multi-way boulevard was completed. That is an amazing project, really just the star of the downtown. And when you look at what happened in the downtown, the city invested $100 million, a third of which was city money and 2/3 which was obtained through state and federal grants to do a lot of that infrastructure improvement. And we estimate that there's over $500 million in private investment coming as a result of that public investment. And that was the vision 10 years ago when this was started, was when you do, as the government comes in, as the city comes in and makes that investment, that it's supposed to then support the private investment. The goal was in 25 years that there would be an $800 million investment. We're already past $500 million and we're under 5 years. And so this vision that this council and the staff had 10 years ago is truly, I think Bob Stowe always used the word audacious, and it was, and it is coming to fruition, and it is amazing. And it is a privilege for me to be the next city manager to carry this vision forward and to see the implementation happen. And so really the acknowledgement of what's happening in the downtown is really coming to fruition. And again, with the goal of being a great city to do business in. We also had transportation and road improvement projects. So the community passed the Safe Streets and Sidewalks Initiative, which was huge for our ability to maintain our streets and do some of the Safe Streets projects. So we've implemented many safe streets around our schools, and we're doing street improvement projects. You're probably starting to see some of those around the community. So we're very excited to do that, and we have 8 years left to go of this levy that the community passed for us. Another was the purchase of the Wayne Golf Course. Let's give the council a round of applause. to be part of something where a community stands up and says it wants to have almost 90 acres of open space preserved in perpetuity is truly a privilege. And it was one of the things, as I looked at the opportunity in Bothell, you could see the character of Bothell, that this community wanted to preserve this open space in perpetuity and have it for generations and generations to come, was such an impressive community initiative. And so we did that this year. The council voted, and we've preserved 84 of those 89 acres, with the remaining 5 coming this year, and that space will be there forever. And that is truly amazing. Along with that, that's not the only thing we preserved. We also preserved the North Creek Forest that was purchased, and that's another 40+ acres that are preserved as open space. And the council adopted a clustering and tree retention ordinance. And so what you're seeing is a bit of a balance now. So understanding that what's happening in the downtown and the development that's occurring due to the Growth Management Act and our own comp plan is this council is interested in having a little bit more balance. And so these are the initiatives that they're taking so that more trees are preserved, more open space is preserved, while still supporting the development and still supporting what's happening throughout the community and especially in the downtown. So we certainly accomplished that this year. Human Services, this was another one of their goals. We initiated an affordable housing program. The council heard more information about that last night. These are one of the conversations that's happening in our region. We don't have any affordable housing initiatives currently in Bothell, and it's clearly from the conversation last night with the council becoming a top priority for them. And so it'll be something that we continue to work on this year. But we started the work last year, and we're very proud of that. We supported homeless and the opioid epidemic initiatives. City government doesn't provide social services, but what we can be is a conduit for our community to those services. And so that's one of the things we want to continue to do. And we certainly supported our youth through a variety of programs, not only their sports programs, but programs for summer camp and other types of programming. So another really nice success under Human Services. So now we get into the money part. So it was a good year. We earned $44 million in revenue. A majority of our revenue comes from sales tax and property tax. We have some other sources as well, our utility tax and some other revenues. So $44 million seems like a lot of money. Our general fund is the basic, our discretionary monies that come in that allow the council to be able to spend it as they see appropriate towards their priorities and what the community would like to see accomplished. Just for sort of putting it in perspective, when you pay your property tax bill each year with the big groan, right, as you write that gigantic check, that you understand that if you have a $400,000 house, you can see that a very small amount comes to the city of Bothell. So many people think when I write a property tax, because I live in a city, that monies are going to a city. But it's going to a variety of sources with a very small amount coming to the city of Bothell. So when we talk about all of these programs and services that we're talking about that we accomplished and that we want to accomplish in the coming year, think about the revenue sources that the city has at its disposal. So the property tax is one. Sales tax is another. 10% in King County, right? How much of that goes to the actual city of Bothell is only 0.85%. So when you purchase something, a $100 item, and you think, oh my God, $10 in sales tax, we get 85 cents of that. And so recognizing that there's a lot of hands in those tax pots, and we're not getting very large percentages of those. And so we are challenged from a financial standpoint. So I said we earned $44 million in revenue to our general fund. However, we spent $45 million in 2016. So as business owners, the hair on your neck should be standing up just a bit. So fundamentally, we are in the red. We are spending more than we are making. And so that's one of the challenges that I'm going to talk about in the year ahead that's facing us that we need to take a look at and resolve. This is the other problem, is you put money aside in a savings account, we have reserves, and you can see what happened through the recession is we spent our reserves, we spent our savings account to keep our services at the level that the community has enjoyed for many, many years. We cut very little services, but we drained our general fund reserve. And so now our savings account is down to a very low level. And we had a recent rating by Moody's. They're very supportive of our strategy, but they have told us that we need to look at additional revenue sources and we need to get that general fund revenue up, or our Moody's ratings, our credit ratings are going to decline. And that's very serious for us. And so we do have some financial challenges ahead. So 2018, so 2017 was pretty good. Let's give the council a round of applause. I think they did a great job. It was a very good year. We did quite a bit, and now we're moving into 2018. So, as I mentioned, in January 2018, the council got together with staff for a day, and we talked about what do you want to see us do in 2018? And they had already identified goals for 2017-18, and so this was more of a refresh, refocus, make sure that we're heading down the right direction. And then for 2019-20, when we put our next biennium budget together, that's an opportunity to look for new initiatives or goals that they might be interested in. And so they did some refreshing and sort of some merging of some goals, but these are the goals for 2018. So continuing economic development, we understand and support those initiatives. It's critically important to the health of our community. We want to look at affordable housing, continue our Safe Streets and Sidewalks program. Community health remains a strong priority for the council. Parks and recreation, open space partnerships, again, a strong priority. A public safety strategy, I'm going to talk about in a little bit more depth later. Fiscal stability and responsibility, there's that imbalance, right? We're in the red. Continuing to invest in our technology and the overall city organization. So these are the goals that have been designed by the council and are my directive then to implement through the organization. And this is what we'll be following for 2018. And these are just sort of some outcomes. So areas of focus that we want to look at and really desired outcomes. And it's really focused on the community. We really want to be able to deliver to the community, an area of priority for us as we move forward. So let's talk first about the money, because that's really what drives all of this and one of the challenges that we're having. So this was our audited 2016. There's that $44 million again. And our problem is we spent $45 million, and our general fund reserve is down to the lowest levels it's been in 10 years. And so we have to look at strategies on how we switch that around and at least have a break even and start to put monies towards our savings account. So that's going to be one of our big initiatives for the year. So let's look at economic development, because we know businesses are a huge driver and help us be a financially stable and sound community. So some of the initiatives are to continue active participation in a business association. These associations are so critically important to the health of our community, and we're delighted to be part of these associations. We want to continue the Canyon Park visioning process. However, it is unfunded at this time. It's estimated to cost between $500,000 and $750,000, and we do not have that money. And so we need to look at creative ways to fund this process. We want to identify downtown parking strategies. We've talked about that there's some challenges in the parking in the downtown. And so we want to take a look at that and work on that this year. We want to continue to champion those Sound Transit 3 projects. We have got to get that park and ride and the bus rapid transit into downtown Bothell. And so we are on that. We are meeting with Sound Transit. We are a vocal partner. We are part of every process. The council's now sitting on 2 boards, one for the bus rapid transit on 522 and for the 405 projects. So we are part of this. We are regionally engaged. And this is really important, that the council is fighting for Bothell every day to make sure that we're getting our share of these kinds of initiatives. We want to complete the Main Street Enhancement Project. Let's have a round of applause for the Main Street businesses. We know it's been a tough year. Project's taken longer than we had hoped. We tried to be overly ambitious in our schedule. We tried to be really positive, and the weather and the age of the infrastructure and other things set us back. We are so close. I can see it right outside my window. I watch it every day. We are so close. Hang with us a couple more weeks. We're going to have a fantastic ribbon cutting, and the downtown is going to be wildly successful. That is the gem. That Main Street is the gem of our downtown. And we are so excited to see it open and to really be able to enjoy the amenities and enjoy the businesses and enjoy the atmosphere down in the downtown. We're just really excited about that. One of the other things that the council is going to consider and directed us to do is look at the downtown traffic impact fees. It's one of the feedbacks that we got from some of the property owners and the businesses was when the council raised the traffic impact fees, it was having an effect on interest in the downtown. And so what we did is we re-looked at that. We reanalyzed it as more of a mall versus an individual business when there's a change of use. And staff is going to come forward with a 30% reduction in traffic impact fees for the Main Street downtown area. And I think that's really going to help, again, show the businesses this is a place you want to be. We recognize how important Main Street is, and so we're excited to bring that to council in the next couple of weeks. We also want to continue and complete the environmental cleanup in the downtown. You see some parcels, and I have a map in a second, and then sell the 4 final parcels that we have in the downtown. So let me show you the map. So you've seen this many times. If you've been to these before for years, I think you've seen this map. So the purple properties are the ones that the city owned and sold. Blue parcels are privately purchased parcels, and the yellow are also city-owned parcels. So the check marks tell you the activity that's happening in the downtown. These projects are either complete or underway. That's very exciting. That's the energy that you're starting to feel in the downtown. These 3 projects, and Mark Betcher mentioned a couple of them, or one of them, P North is about to go under construction. There's also some townhomes that are going to go under construction, and the hotel next to City Hall is expected to break ground by mid-June. So that's also very exciting for the vibrancy and bringing people and tourism to our downtown. We're very excited to have the hotel start. These 4 properties are now owned again by the city. They were all sold. They've fallen out of escrow, and the city needs to reinitiate the sale of those parcels. The challenge with 3 of them, these 3, is they are contaminated, and staff is working diligently to clean up those parcels. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is although this has taken longer than we had hoped, we are doing the right thing by the environment. These were dirty parcels. We purchased them. We're very close to the river, and although this is taking some time, if the city had not purchased these parcels, this contamination would remain in the groundwater and in the soil. And so it is critically important to the health of the river and to our community that these parcels get cleaned up. Yes, it's taken longer than we'd hoped. The Department of Ecology has massive regulations, and they keep asking us to do more, but we are making progress, and we're excited to get those 2 front parcels, D, E, and F, cleaned up hopefully this year. At least D, working on E and F, and we're looking at strategies for P South, which is up on the top. E is A, which is down below, is not contaminated. It's a little bit of a challenging parcel, but it's an opportunity to look at some connectivity because the parcel that you don't see on this map is the front 4 acres of the Wayne Golf Course. And the council paid full market value for that parcel because it's an opportunity to build some kind of a really cool, very unique economic engine on that front 4. And that way, bringing tourism, something for the locals, something amazing to really enjoy those acreage, that acreage out there, connect people from Wayne, something really cool, community-based on Lot A by the river, and then bring people into the downtown. Really neat connectivity and something very, very exciting for downtown Bothell. So we are excited to keep moving forward with the downtown parcels and keep moving forward with the development that's happening in the downtown. Affordable housing, as I mentioned, we had a presentation again last night. There are several initiatives that the council's considering and very excited about. They mentioned to us last night that 50% of people who work in Bothell earn less than $50,000 a year. These folks need to have a place to live, and we want them to be in Bothell. And by having affordable housing strategies in Bothell, we can welcome and have those individuals in our community as well. And that's important to this council and something that they're prioritizing for this year ahead. Safe Streets and Sidewalks program, we're going to keep improving our roads. We're excited about that, so you're going to see road improvements happening over the next 8 years. And also the safe streets around the schools, making sure that our kids are safe, being able to get to schools, and our pedestrians are safe as well. Community health for those in need. Again, we don't provide the services, but we can be a connection to services. And so things like, we have a navigator program that's a pilot program that the chief was a huge part of bringing it into Bothell. It's funded through the county right now. We have to change the way that we're delivering public safety programs to our community. They need to be more compassion-based and connecting people to services. Hook 'em and book 'em doesn't work anymore. We need to find ways to divert people into programs and help them with whatever mental health or substance abuse issues that they have. And the chief is a leader in this. And this navigator program, so we have a mental health specialist 20 hours a week with our police department who goes out on police calls and is able to connect with individuals that they're coming in contact with and connect them to supportive services. This is the right way to help our community, and we want to continue to find funding to invest in those kinds of programs. Again, we want to connect our homeless, our mentally ill, and those with substance abuse issues to services. The judge is very supportive of these kinds of programs, and we continue to look at creative programs of how to get people into supportive programs rather than locking them up, because that's not the solution. And continue to evaluate other programs. We were heavily involved in Community Resource Day, other opportunities to be able to do that. Community connections. This is one of the initiatives that is really near and dear to the heart of the council. They really want to connect with the community and are finding ways to be able to do that. They want to expand our capacity to have volunteers be part of our programs to be able to help us. Again, when it comes to the funding, we cannot do these things alone. We need the help of our community to be able to be a part of it. And transparency, again, not a buzzword for the city of Bothell, truly something authentic. We want you to be part of our decision making and the work that we're doing. Regional engagement, this falls squarely on the shoulders of the council. They are out there at community meetings representing Bothell, fighting for dollars, fighting to be part of the process. At these meetings, there are so many meetings, and we're divided between Snow County and King County, and so most cities only have one set. We have to double everything that other cities need to do. And they're out there at these meetings representing Bothell and representing all of you. Connecting with the community, again, that connection is very important, and we want to be a welcoming city. One of the things that I started at the beginning of the year, because I have the leadership staff to be able to do it now, is we started a diversity committee of our staff to look at our own diversity, to make sure that we're a welcoming organization and things that we can do to make sure that we're a welcoming city for all of those who live and work and visit Bothell. So very exciting initiatives for the council and for us. Parks and recreation and open space. So again, another balancing, continuing to support that open space along with the development and economic development that's happening in our community. Complete the Cedar Grove Park improvements, build Madrazo Park, develop a master plan for North Creek Forest. We want to try to look at opportunities to purchase Shelton View. We want to design a non-motorized bridge at the landing. If you ever go to Park at Bothell Landing, that pedestrian bridge that's there. Complete the construction drawings for Horse Creek Plaza, which is right behind the junction. And we want to look at a plan on, now we have 89 acres that we're going to be responsible for, and we have to figure out how we're going to do that. And so those are some very exciting things from an open space perspective. So public safety. So this is where the rubber starts to meet the road for us. Our overall goal obviously is to protect our community. One of the challenges that we're having is we haven't added officers to our police department for almost 10 years. Our population continues to grow. We have a changing world of public safety. The demands on the public safety departments have grown exponentially, and we have not provided the financial or resource support, staffing support for them to meet these demands. For 8 years, the City Council did not impose their legally allowable 1% increase to the property taxes. This was to support all of you who live in Bothell during the recession, which is very admirable. However, in totality, we've now lost $4.8 million in annual revenue due to those decisions. That is non-recoverable revenue that's really starting to impact our ability to deliver services. We've exhausted many of our options. We have looked at efficiencies. I talked about that we're becoming certified for public works so that we can be as efficient and do best practices. We're looking at the lean process, not only for community development, we're looking at it for HR. We're looking at all these internal efficiencies. IT is a critical part of that to make sure that we're as efficient as we can be. You know, as businesses, you have to look at your internal delivery. You have to be able to be as efficient as possible so that you can save cost to the best of your ability, because the human capital, 85% of our budget is people. We deliver a service. That's what we do. We're a service industry. And so we've exhausted most of the major options on how to reduce our costs and increase our revenues. And so one of our initiatives that you're going to be hearing a lot about in 2018 is it's time to make some choices as a community for Bothell. It's time to weigh in on what your public service levels you would like to see. In the last public survey that we did, our community survey in 2018, our community told us that they're starting to feel less safe than you did a couple of years ago. And we have to take that. That's very serious for us. If our community is feeling less safe, then there's things that we need to do from our public safety delivery to regain that sense of safety in our community. So we need to look at a public safety levy. We also need to look at a bond for our fire stations. And so we are not able to meet the current level of service that the city of Bothell has enjoyed for many, many years in the public safety arena without additional revenues. And so we are right now in the ramp-up mode of getting information about how does the community feel about your current level of service, and how supportive are you of having a levy imposed or that you would vote for to support our public safety. So for police, for fire, for the courts, and for our legal system, these are all demand-driven services. We don't have a choice. The court system cannot say, I don't want to see that many defendants today. I don't have the capacity to see that many defendants today. It's the community who has added that volume of work. The prosecutor has to prosecute those cases. Fire has to go out for the number of calls. Police have to go and respond to the calls that are coming in. And we're not able to do that at the level, or will not be able to continue to do that at the level that we've been doing it for many years. And so this is a really challenging year for us, and we need to look at other options. Our Moody's rating has told us very clearly that if we don't look at additional revenue sources, that our ratings, and we get our general fund reserve, so our savings need to come up, and we need to look at additional revenue, that our bond ratings, our credit ratings will be reduced in the years ahead. And so we're at a very critical juncture. And so what we need to hear from all of you is, how do you feel about this? What are your priorities? How do you feel about a potential levy, good or bad? We're starting to start our communications campaign, and there's going to be lots of opportunities. And if there's any opportunities, we're going to come talking to you time and time again in the year ahead as we get this going. In June, the council will make the decision whether they want to put these levies and the bond measure for the fire stations and potentially for the court onto the ballot for November. And we're going to be talking to you a lot in the year ahead. And so this is, on top of everything else that we want to do for you this year, this is going to be one of our major initiatives. We're going to continue with our technology. We're going to move forward with our financial software package. We're looking at some improvements in our human resources and payroll system. We still do paper time cards. Amazing. We do, paper time cards. And we want to continue our asset management system, because it's our responsibility to make sure that we're taking care of the assets we've purchased with the public's money. And finally, the city organization. We want to continue that lean process. What I want the community to know is we're not just sitting back fat and happy saying, yeah, we need more money. We are looking at ways to be more efficient. Again, the lean process, the accreditation. We just completed the fire chief just completed a strategic plan for the fire department to better understand the needs of the fire department. We're trying to expand our emergency preparedness program. We want to make sure that you and the community feel safe and that we're able to respond in the event of an emergency. We're rebranding our Explore Bothell so that tourism can continue to be vibrant here in Bothell. We're refreshing our communications program, so we're communicating with you the way you like and is working for you. And we want to build on the strength of the organization that we have today. I believe that we have an exceptional team in Bothell. I'm so proud to work with this leadership team. We just made an offer to a community development director. He'll be coming from the city of Bellevue, just an exceptional gentleman, over 30 years of experience in community development, brings tremendous passion and experience, and I think he's going to be a great addition, and I think you'll enjoy working with him from a community development standpoint. So, did I breathe at all? My first breath? That is our year ahead. Thank you very much. I appreciate your attention, and I hope that you are inspired by what we're doing in Bothell and that you feel supported and loved and that you know that this council wants to connect with you and wants to be a part of this community, and we feel that way as well. So I thank you very much.